Legends Monaco. Lo de Legends Monaco. Hello, Mike. We'll be on in a couple of minutes. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you so much. You're welcome. ¿Lo puedo mirar? Vamos a esperar que llegue la gente porque estamos todavía está vacío. Mhm. Mm. Sí. Okay. Vamos allá. Sí, lo de la subasta de Monaco Legends. Yo lo tengo por ahí. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again to the greatest watch market update show. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a watch market update dedicated to our subscribers who have reached out to us on many different watch models that they would like a price on these watches. So, we're gonna have today a watch market update for our organic watch channel subscribers who want to see the prices of some of the watches they're very interesting in buying. They want to buy these watches. So today's going to be dedicated to these organic watch channel subscribers, this watch market update. Right, ladies and gentlemen, like I've been telling you the last couple of weeks, if you want to support this channel, Please do so by supporting us with a like, with a subscription, whatever you want to call it. You can help us out that way, so we can help this channel grow, and more people around the world could see, uh, you know, what we have to say. The knowledge that we're dropping here, all the things that we're letting you guys know about. That you guys should know about. So please cooperate with a like or a subscribe. One of those two things. Or maybe leave a comment. If you want to leave a comment, you may do so too. You may do that too. So please help us out that way. I understand you have other commitments with other Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market channels, and that's fine. We understand that. Keep on doing what you're doing with them, but at least give us a thumbs up or a subscribe. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to talk about. I said in my last live stream that I honestly believe that the best watch release ever by Rolex was done on 2025. And I just want to point out a couple of things. They released that beautiful Rolex Daytona yellow gold with a green dial with the gold or champagne color gauges. It's an unbelievable watch. And like I spoke to you, when it first came out, that the older Rolex yellow gold green dial John Mayer was going to take a setback, and this is going to be the big boy, and it is the way I said it. But I want to tell you guys that this watch is at a price point right now that it is, with all due respect and an honesty, it's just stupid money. They're asking a buck, $1.90, $1.80, $1.70, $1.60, $1.50, $1.40, and they're somewhere in $120,000. And I just want to tell you guys something, so you guys won't make the mistakes that I did in the past with those watches. If you are one of the lucky ones to get that watch, get it allocated. One of your Rolex ADs lets you have it, because right now the only ones that are getting these watches are just the Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealers, because they're greasing up the ADs, they're greasing them up. But maybe one of you will get lucky, like a lottery, and you get lucky and you get the call for that watch. And I'm just gonna tell you that if you do get the call for that watch, don't hold on to it. Let it go. Make money in the watch. Get rid of it. That's just what I'm trying to tell you guys. Don't hold on to the watch, because that watch is just gonna keep on dropping, 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 dropping. So meanwhile, you should cash in if you do get that phone call for that watch. Now I'm talking about the Rolex yellow gold, green dial, gold gauges, champagne color gauges. If you get the call, let it go, because that watch is going to drop faster than Bill Clinton's pants in an Arkansas farmhouse. So you can get your money back, make some money, and buy it again, and you have it all over again. But I wouldn't hold on to that watch. Get rid of it. That's just my theory. And also, you also have the Oyster Flex, yellow gold with the Tiffany color dial. They're asking crazy money for that watch, $175,000, $190,000, and lottie. So if you get your hands on that watch, you know what to do. Cash in, like a lottery ticket. Cash it in. Get rid of it, because I'm telling you that right now at this moment, the ones that are getting all these watches, the GMT white gold with the green dial, green and black bezel, ceramic bezel, the GMT rose gold with the tiger, whatever you call it, dial, and the Daytonas, yellow gold, with the green dial, and the Tiffany are the Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealers. They're the ones They're getting those watches because they're greasing up. They're greasing up. The rest of the catalog of Rolex at this moment, hear me out. The rest of the catalog, except the new releases of 2025 by Rolex, the new releases, those are the hottest ones. The rest are dead in water. Dead in water. You do whatever you want with your money. You know, we're talking about the Land Rover. You know, the Land Rover, oye, disculpa aquí no. The Land Dweller. You know, the Land Dweller, platinum, rose gold, stainless steel. Those things are hot, you know? Again, so I'm telling you, the new releases is the hottest thing there is. Don't let them tell you that it's not. They're going to give you a subliminal message that it's not, it's not, it's not. So they can keep on getting all those watches. Because the rest of the fleet of Rolex is dead in water. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. I'm going to go into another subject. I spoke to you last week about a gentleman which I call, in a kind way, I call him Little Raccoon Eyes. You know, he was the gentleman that sold that Fugazi Conjure Daytona. You know, Conjure. Remember this one? Conjure. You know, the Conjure Daytona, right? So we were talking about that, and we were telling you that this guy has been, you know, he's been exposed, you know, by selling a Fugazi, you know, a Fugazi Daytona. But I waited the whole week because there was something else going on, you know, that none of your favorite Muppet Boiler Room secondary grade watch market dealers won't dare to tell you. And like I've been telling you for the longest, you know, I'm going to tell you, and also Kino to me, Joaquin to you, we're going to tell you because we are just stupid like that. We like to be stupid like that. So we're going to tell you, we're going to talk to you about this subject. And not one single, not one, you know what, I take it back. There's a gentleman that I call him in a real kind way. He did something about that. He did talk about that. I'm talking about the gentleman, the West Virginia One-Eye Whitaker. You know, the West Virginia One-Eye Whitaker did talk about this subject, which I'm going to talk about today. So I give a lot of credit to the One-Eye West Virginia Whitaker. You know, the West Virginia One-Eye Whitaker. He talked about this subject. And I'm going to be talking about the subject of Monaco Legends. You know, Monaco Legends, you know, vintage watches, which I've told you, I spoke to you last week. If you think modern watches, there's flim-flammers involved and hucksters and hoodwinks, you know, and you know, if you think so, well, in the vintage world, it's worse. It's even more nasty. And not one single person talked about this subject. What happened over there in Monaco Legends? It was a total disaster. It was a total disaster what happened over there, ladies and gentlemen. And I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, there was a bunch of Frankensteins, a bunch of Frankie Avalons in that, you know, auction. You know, that auction over there in Monaco Legends, you know, there was a disaster. There was Frankie Avalons and Frankensteins. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, because I gotta tell you this. You know, a Frankenstein and a Frankie Avalon, a Frankenstein, hear me out, listen and learn. I'm gonna dare myself to say what I'm gonna say today. And you can quote, and I quote it, you know, whatever, like, como Kino quote, como hablo los americanos, I quote, and I quote, you know, whatever. I'm gonna tell you, a Frankenstein and a Frankie Avalon is worse than a one-on-one clone. Because at least you know that the one-on-one clone is what it is. But a Frankie Avalon and a Frankenstein is a watch which they're trying to flim-flam you, ladies and gentlemen. And they're going to flim-flam you. And they're going to get away with it. And those same people, they flim-flam you with those vintage watches, are going to continue in the business. That's even worse. They're going to continue. You know, Little Raccoon Eyes? You know, Little Raccoon Eyes. He's still in the business. Nothing happened. You guys will forget about Little Raccoon Eyes and you'll buy again watches from Little Raccoon Eyes. You know, the one that sold you they sold the Conjurer. You know, the Conjurer. You know, that guy. That guy. Little Raccoon Eyes. So the same thing with these watches that were sold in Monaco Legends. You know, the auction. It's unbelievable. You're not going to believe this, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you because I have to tell you. You know, in that auction, there were a couple of watches that they were fugazis. You know, they were fugazis. We have the first watch that was in that auction was a Rolex stainless steel, a Rolex, listen and learn, a Rolex stainless steel date. You know, a president. A Rolex stainless steel date president. Stainless steel with an oyster bracelet. Unbelievable. It was sold in that Monaco Legends auction. Unbelievable. And this watch was sold for 1,100,000 euros. You know, it was the wrong dial, the wrong text on the dial, the wrong period of year. You know, it was sold, you know, and most of these bidders are phone bidders. You know, they're bidding by the phone. And they sold that watch, you know. They sold it for 1,100,000 euros. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that even in these auctions, you can't even believe these people, what they're telling you. Remember, these watches are being swapped with different parts. You know, like I'm telling you, it's a Frankenstein watch. I believe that a one-on-one clone is worth more than those Frankenstein watches. It's junk. Total junk. You buy that watch and what you're buying is junk. And I'm telling you this because you need to know this. I need to awaken you guys up. It was a total disaster, that auction over there in Monaco Legend, whatever you call it. It was a disaster. And the funny thing is, the sweet kid Kino told me that gentleman, you know, the gentleman deputy boxing black eyes yesterday was talking about vintage watches. You know, vintage watches, but he will never talk to you about what happened over there in Monaco Legends. You know, with all these watches, they were counterfeit. They were just Frankensteins, Frankie Avalons. It was terrible what happened over there. Ladies and gentlemen, there was also another watch that was sold in Monaco Legends. And it was a Rolex Daytona stainless steel Tiffany and Company and Cole, whatever you want to call it, you know? Wrong dial, wrong this, wrong that. And it was sold for another 70,000 euros. You know, unbelievable. You know, another Daytona stainless steel with Frankie Avalon parts. You know, ladies and gentlemen, la situación está mala, papá. This is terrible. You know why this is going on? Because these people still think that we are in the Corona beer era. It doesn't exist no more, Bobby. And they want to continue flim-flamming you with all these watches, you know? A Tiffany dial, a Fugazi dial, you know? A China special Tiffany dial on a Rolex Daytona, you know? Unbelievable. Tiffany and Company, stamp, make believe, you know, no good. And somebody purchased that watch for 70,000 euros. But ladies and gentlemen, the one that really struck me, and I couldn't believe it, was a Rolex Daytona John Player Special. I don't know what they call it, a John Player Special. You know, unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. They sold this watch in that Monaco Legends, and you're not gonna believe they sold that watch for €1,200,000. It was unbelievable. The black and gold John Player. It's called a John, gracias Kino, coño, if it's not for Kino, I'll say the wrong thing. It's called the John Player Special, you know? And they took a watch from 2001 that was sold, and they took out the dial, they took out the bezel, they took out the hands, they took out the bracelet, they swapped everything around. And and I spoke to you about something last week that I spoke to you people about. And what I spoke to you about was that those ding dongs, those scratches, those big, whatever you want to call it, big smash on the watch, those are called fingerprints. So that watch was sold in 2001, and then in 2021, they did all this movement on the watches, swap this, swap that. But a gentleman again was looking at the watch, and the same ding dongs that it had in the year 2021, 2025, it had the same exact fingerprints. The dings, the thing, all that scratches, all those things, the same thing. And I'm telling you, that watch was sold for €1.2 million. €1.2 million. Another Fugazi was sold there. It was a total disaster, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, the thing, listen to me. I try to teach you words so you guys can, have it in your head. In the vintage world, when you see a scratch or a big dent or a big, whatever you want to call it, that's a fingerprint of that watch. You cannot touch that watch. That's the way it is. So people take pictures and they compare. They compare from 2021, 2025. They put it next to each other. It has the same DNA. The same DNA, ladies and gentlemen. It was awful, when it's called mismatched parts. I'm telling you, the bezel, the bracelet, the dial, so many things on that watch, ladies and gentlemen. It's incredible what's going on in the vintage world. And these people got used to the idea that they think that the Corona beer era is still here. Y que hay mucho window lickers, mucho crumb bums. There's still crumb bums left around there. Listen to me, they sold that watch for 1.2 €1,200,000. That John Player Special, which it was a fake, a Fugazi. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, a Frankenstein and a Frankie Avalon is worse than a one-on-one clone. I know what I'm telling you guys. I know what I'm telling you right now. I'm being right now in this channel right now, in this live stream. They're taking it real easy with me. They don't want too many people to be looking at this information because I'm dropping knowledge for free. Don't you understand? Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in these auctions, there's a lot of shield bidding. You know what the word? Come here, shield bidding, bidding, shield bidding. Hey, shield bidding. Hey, here, shield bidding, make believe. This is unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. What's happening in the watch industry is a catastrophe. What's going on? It's incredible. You guys should be happy that you guys have me. That you guys have me telling you all this. I'm telling you this because what's happening in the vintage world is disgusting, papi. It's disgusting. This swap this, swap that. It's unbelievable. And people are paying €1.2 million for something that's worthless. Worthless. And then you have, if you go to his channel and you go see Deputy Boxing Black Eyes, he's talking over there about vintage watches, about this watch that costs 20 million, 30 million, 5 million, this, that, Patek, boom, bing, bang. But he's not telling you about this. No, he will never tell you about this. The only one that will tell you about this is me, because I'm stupid like that. And right now, in this live stream, they got me, but that's all right. Later on, I put it on for you again so you guys can see it. Because all of you out there are getting the logo deep, 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 deep. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, that John Player special, which was a make-believe watch, make-believe, a made-up name. The audacity of those people making up a name, a John Player Special Daytona. And then these people buy into it, give them the money. Boom, 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 wire, 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 wire. These are all phone bidders, phone bidders. They sold those watches. It's crazy. It is crazy what's happening. You guys have to be, thankful that you have me. I'm telling you, I'm not even gonna laugh. Because nobody, listen to me, Mr. Blair, you know this, Mr. Blair, nobody's gonna tell these people what I'm telling you. Nobody. Not one person is gonna tell you this. Hey, there was a big disaster over there in Monaco Legends. It was a big disaster. Watches, they were all Fugazis. Papi, 3 monster watches. One with a made-up name. A John Player Special. You know who John Player is? John Player used to be a car in Formula One. They had the logos. John Player Special. That's unbelievable. Disgusting. And you lollipop suckers, window lickers, crumb bums, tomato cans, crayon eaters, you buy into all that? You buy into all that. And what do me and Kino get? We get this. We don't even get a subscriber. We're lucky if we get a couple of likes. Because we bring you the real thing. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me carefully. We received an email that they wanted to talk to us because they know that our channel, is 100% organic. To do some kind of thing together with another watch company. We have the letter too. We have the letter and everything. Because let me tell you, everybody out there that you watch is a fugazi. Eso es pura paja, papi. Pura paja. Y ustedes son unos gilipollas, unos lambones. Ustedes son unos lambones. You guys are a bunch of mashuganas. You're mashuganas. You believe these flim-flammers what they tell you every day. And me, and sweet Kino to me, Joaquin to you, what do we get? What do we get? You tell them what do we get? We get this deep. We get it deep. Deep, deep, deep. Listen to me. The watch industry is turned upside down. No matter if it's modern, contemporary, or vintage. No matter what it is. Papi, le van a romper la cicatriz. Le van a romper la cicatriz. I'm telling you this. I waited the whole week. I spoke to you about little raccoon eyes. Little raccoon eyes, with the conjurer doll, with Fugazi. I started with that. And not one person spoke about Monaco Legends. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there's a gentleman out there by the name of Cope Paris. This guy's unbelievable. This guy is checking. This guy, he's my hero. Cope Paris. I don't know his name. I think it's Cope Paris. And he is the one that's watching all these hucksters and hoodwinks and taking pictures. He's un maniático. He's a maniac, but in a positive way. Es un maniático. He's taking pictures of any watch you put out there. This is why social media es un peligro. You got to be very, very careful. You cannot be putting a watch, this a 2001 watch. You can put it out there and then put it back in 2020. Somebody's watching you. And I told you already that the dings, the dings, the scratches, the deep scratches in the vintage world, that's called fingerprints. Finger, like when the CIA, what do you call it? ¿Cómo se llama? CSI, they fingered all that stuff. It's unbelievable. I mean, I understand it. I don't know how to explain it, the way those people that you like to go see and give them all your children's tuition money. I understand that. But I try. I try my best to explain it to you the way I know. Quiero no te metas. No importa, ellos me entienden a mí como yo hablo. Ellos me entienden. Ellos entienden como yo hablo, Kino. Tú no sabes ni hablar ni inglés. Sweet Kino giving me instructions how to talk. I talk the way I talk. You understand what I'm saying? Mr. Blair, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yes or no? It's unbelievable. Sweet Kino told me that my English is not looking good, It's unbelievable what they're trying to do to you people out there, taking your children's tuition money. And now, they are after your wife's 401k. That's right. They're after your wife's 401k. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I'm very, very, let me tell you, on this watch, the reference number of that watch is the 6241. Even the movement wasn't the original movement on that watch. Papi, you don't understand. You don't understand what I'm trying to tell you. They're not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. They don't understand me. We have rules in this channel. Not suggestions. We have rules. They're not like us. They're not like us. We have rules in this channel. Rules are rules, not suggestions. That's what I'm telling you. Right now, it's incredible, but it's the truth. What's happening in the watch industry es una cagada. Es una cagada. Kino, no te metas. No te metas, Kino. Tú no entiendes esto, Kino. I'm telling you. It's unbelievable, To match that movement, it had to be a 7221. It had a 7221. And these people were giving a 722. Papi, it's gross what they're doing to you people out there. It's gross. It's gross. I tell you that I have too much information, too much knowledge to give you guys, and you're not ready for it. You guys are not ready for it. You guys are not ready for this. I'll scare you guys. I'll scare you guys too much. I got too much. I can do a live stream every day. But for what? For what? You guys are skip hopping around through life like bunny rabbits. Not like rabbits, like bunny rabbits. Like bunny rabbits. Do you want to soar with the eagles or you want to crawl with the rats? Because right now you guys are crawling with the rats. It's me and Kino against all of them. Against all of them. That guy, Cole Paris, he's my idol, man. He's my idol. I think he's going to call me soon to talk to me and Kino. That guy, he's finishing with the vintage world. You don't know who I'm talking about? You don't know who I'm talking about? Cope Paris. He finished over there with I forgot that guy. What's his name again? Parmigiani. You know Parmigiani? Pajama. Kino? Parmigiani. Over there. He was the organizer. Over there. Of Legends of Monaco. But that gentleman that I'm talking about, Cope Paris, he's finished with them. He finished them over there. He got them all. He got the microscope and he got everything. He saw the bezel. He saw the dial, the hands, the bracelet, and then he saw the casing. And when he saw the casing, he got the jackpot. He said, "Oh my God, this is another Fugazi." Another Fugazi. And then he found the date. You know, the stainless steel date. Have you ever heard of a stainless steel President date with an oyster bracelet? That came out in 1956 in Baselworld. That's right. That's right. You guys can't believe how smart I am. That's the truth. You guys can't believe how smart I am. That watch was a prototype in 1956 in Baselworld. And it came back with different parts. Es que Kino, yo no, Kino, no me digas más que no digas esas cosas. Don't tell me no more not to say that, Kino. Okay, Kino, está bien. Kino wants me to go into the watch market update, and this watch market update that I'm going to go into is about subscribers who have reached out to us. They're looking for watches, and we have, I don't know, 12 watches that from different subscribers that have reached out to us to please give them, you know, prices on those watches, and I'm gonna do that. But I am very disturbed that you know, I just I don't know, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I'm pretty sad because, you know, they're deep. It's going deeper and deeper and deeper. But let me go into the watch market update. But I already told you already, you know, about, you know, we spoke about little raccoon eyes with the conjure dial and his buddy, you know, Jose Feliciano, and Deputy Boxing Black Eyes. The sad thing is, ladies and gentlemen, the real truth is about all this is that they're going to keep on doing this to you and nothing is going to happen. You understand me? You understand me? They're going to keep on doing this to you. They're going to keep on selling you fugazis and nothing is going to happen. All right, guys? This is what I'm trying to tell you. You know, over 2.4 million euros were taken over there, you know, and Legends of Monaco. But that guy, which I admire, he's Kino's hero. Kino's the one that really cares about that man. He's unbelievable. Colt Paris. Look into him, Colt Paris. But I'm going to go into the watch market update for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, our first watch market of the night is an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak stainless steel with a gray, you know, gray or sinker gray dial. You know, sinker, when you fish, a sinker, you know, that color gray. You fish, you cast, you know, unbelievable. 41 millimeter, reference number 15500. Ladies and gentlemen, the retail price of that watch is $27,800. $27,800. And I'm going to tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen, this watch at one moment was over $45,000. You know, stainless steel in that Corona era. Unbelievable. They went crazy, you know, for that fishing sinker, you know, gray, you know, unbelievable. They went nuts for it, you know, unbelievable, unbelievable. And ladies and gentlemen, you do yourself a favor and you do whatever you want with your money. But don't pay for this watch. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for this watch more than $29,000. And do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I'm still upset about that place over there, Legends Monaco, you know. They're lucky we have that, you know, Coop Paris, you know. He's watching everything. He's unbelievable, that guy. You do whatever you want. Unbelievable. Our next watch is an AP Royal Oak stainless steel blue dial chrono, 41 millimeter, reference number 26331. Retail price in this watch is $36,000. And ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want with your money, but you cannot continue being crumb bums. You cannot, ladies and gentlemen. You got to stop that. You got to stop being obedient. You guys are too obedient. You know, these people, they have you mesmerized and you like it. You like it a lot. You like the feeling. You like the feeling. But we don't like the feeling. And I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that AP Royal Oak Chrono, 41 millimeter, blue dial. Reference number 26331. Retail price is $36,000. Don't pay for that watch more, and I mean don't pay for that watch more than $36,000. And that watch market, dead. You do whatever you want. No, Guido, no te metas, no te metas, no te metas. Our next watch is a Vacheron Constantin Overseas. Stainless steel, reverse panda. You know what a reverse panda is? You know, black dial with the white gauges. You know, hour, second, and minutes. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. This watch at one moment, ladies and gentlemen, in that Corona era, went all the way up. All the way up. I mean, it went all the way up. I don't know, $70, $80, $85,000. Kids that were 24 years old were flim-flamming old men that were 55 years old. You know, they were buying the watch and just giving away their children's tuition money. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that watch has a retail price of $35,600. 42 millimeter, 42.5 millimeter to be exact. The 5500V, stainless steel. Ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Don't get scared. Don't pay for that watch more than $24,000. And down! Ma! Down! Dick. You do whatever you want, dick. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is an unbelievable watch. It's a Vacheron Constantin Overseas, rose gold. You know, you have the 4500V, and now they came out with the 4520V, you know, with the most beautiful blue dial in the watch industry, Vacheron Constantin. Unbelievable looking watch, 4520V, you know, unbelievable. This watch has a 41 millimeter casing. The retail price of that watch is $60,500. You do whatever you want with your children's tuition money. And the reason I'm going to give you this price, because the 4500 to this one is practically the same thing. From the 4500 to the 4520, the same thing. I'm going to tell you because it is what it is. And I cannot tell you a price that is not. But I'm going to tell you, don't pay for that 4520 rose gold with a blue dial. Don't pay more than $52,000. And you do whatever you want with your money. You do whatever you want with your children's tuition money. This is for all my subscribers, this watch market update. Every single watch that I'm putting up here right now, they have sent me an email that they want to know the price of these watches. Okay? This is for you, sir. Rolex stainless steel Yachtmaster with a rhodium dial. You know, with our baby blue second hand. Unbelievable. The rhodium dial. Unbelievable. Reference number 126622. Unbelievable, that watch. Retail price is $12,400. Unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. It's an unbelievable, that rhodium dial. And that, you know, second blue hand is unbelievable. But I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't pay for that Rolex stainless steel Yachtmaster rhodium dial. Don't pay more than $11,200. And you do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. Our next watch is a Rolex white gold Daytona Captain America, you know, with the blue dial and the red and white and blue gauges, you know, Captain America. Unbelievable. They said it was the next John Mayer, you know, the next one. You know, unbelievable. Rolex Daytona, white gold blue dial. Unbelievable watch. Unbelievable. Reference number 116509 with a retail price of $40,600. Unbelievable, that Captain America. And we're going to have to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth in this channel. Don't pay for that watch. Don't pay for that watch more than $35,000 and done. Done. I'm talking about full set. If it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, you don't want it, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. You got to stop being crumb bums. You cannot continue being obedient to these people. You're slaves to these people. You're maintaining their red gold fast car. You know, their Nike Louis Vuitton sneakers. Their ripped jeans. Understand me? You know, Montclair sweaters. Supreme hoodies. Sushi dinners. You know? That steak dinner with the guy that throws the salt. You know, throws the salt all over the place. And he puts a Fred Flintstone barbecue bone in your mouth. And he pulls it out and pushes it in. And you guys like that. You know, you skip hopping around like little bunnies. You understand me? That's what you like. You got to stop being that. You got to stop. We have rules in this channel. We have rules. Not suggestions. Rules. You do whatever you want. But this is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. This is the truth. Our next watch is an unbelievable watch. It is the Rolex Yellow Gold Sky Dweller. You know, yellow gold with stainless steel. It's unbelievable. Champagne dial. Reference number 336933. 42 millimeter. Retail price is $19,250 with a Jubilee bracelet. You know, stainless steel and yellow gold. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about used. We're talking about used, slightly conditioned material watches in this channel. Don't get it confused. Don't get it confused. And don't pay for that Rolex yellow gold stainless steel Sky Dweller. Don't pay more than $17,800. And done, dick. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. We're going to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. We have rules in this channel. We have rules. You know, because you don't want to see you guys get the logo. So we have rules for you guys. Our next watch is an unbelievable watch. It is a Patek Philippe white gold 5164. You know, unbelievable. Blue strap, blue dial. Unbelievable watch. Retail price on that watch is $64,930. Unbelievable. You know, blue strap, blue dial. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. 40 millimeter. And ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. This is a spectacular watch. But I got to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. Remember, it's just me and Sweet Kick Kino against all of them. Against all of them. Against all of them. This channel of mine, you know, always. I'm just letting you know. If you understand what I mean, show me a logo. That's all. If you understand what I mean. Anyway, the Patek Philippe 5164 white gold. Unbelievable. And I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you do whatever you want. But don't pay for that watch more than $116,000. And done. We got rules here. And you must obey them. The rules that we have here. Or we'll send you back home like they sent back home the little kid from the Bronx in the public school. Because his socks were not matching. One was red and one was white. We have rules here, not suggestions. You do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. I'm going to tell you about a watch that another subscriber of mine is talking to me about this watch. The last two watches are unbelievable watches. This is a Patek Philippe Grand Complications. You know, with a G.I. Joe green strap and a G.I. Joe green dial. You know, fatigue green, whatever you want to call it. Vietnam green, you know, whatever you want to call it. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about the 5204 Grand Complications. What a monster of a watch. You know, chrono, perpetual, split second. I mean, this thing flies. You know, it's an unbelievable watch. Ladies and gentlemen, the retail price of that watch is disgusting. The retail price of that watch is $300,000. $345,260. We're talking about, man, a used slider condition material watch with all the bells and whistles. And I'm going to tell you this, sir, if you're looking to buy this watch, if you are, if you are looking to buy this watch, you heard the retail is $345,000. $345,000. Look at that. That's more than my house. But watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Don't pay, sir. Don't pay. I mean, I wouldn't pay. I wouldn't even buy it. But you're asking me for this watch market update on this watch that you're looking to buy. I know where you're looking to buy it at. And I'm going to tell you, you tell them that I say Juan Felipe Nieves and no other than Sweet Kid Kino to me, Joaquin to you. Don't pay more. I mean, you do whatever you want. But don't pay, for that unbelievable G.I. Joe green strap, G.I. Joe green dial, perpetual split second chrono. Don't pay more, and I mean don't pay more than $175,000. Done, dead. He dead. You do whatever you want, but he dead. He dead. Ladies and gentlemen, this is another watch from another subscriber that he's looking into it. We're talking about the Hublot. Listen to this watch. The Hublot Tech Frame. Unbelievable. By no other than Ferrari. Ferrari. One of the reasons that Hublot lost so much steam in the watch industry was because every single watch they made was a limited edition watch. Every single watch, limited this, limited that, this, that. And it went down, 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 down. But they made this watch, the Hublot Tech Frame, Ferrari, tourbillon, rose gold. It's like a frame, like a bicycle frame, Unbelievable watch. Listen and learn. They made of this watch 70 pieces around the world. 70 pieces. 45 millimeter. Rose gold. Unbelievable. Limited edition to 70 pieces. Has a retail price of $160,000. $160,000. Sir, I'm going to tell you the truth. You do whatever you want. And I know it's 70 pieces around the world, but I got to tell you the truth. And it costs $160,000. Don't pay for that Hublot Tech Frame. Rose gold, 45 millimeter. Ferrari. Ferrari. It says Ferrari inside. Unbelievable. Don't pay for that watch. And I mean, don't pay more than $53,000. Like Mikey did. That's it. That is my watch market update for Organic Watch Channel subscribers. Whenever you want to hear a price of your watch, just send Sweet Kid Kino an email and we'll put it up for, a watch market update for subscribers, Like the same thing we have for Jiminy Cricket, the Chia Pet Spray Can Hair, that we have a watch market update to compare his prices with ours. We have one for subscribers as well. Right, guys? Don't forget, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like our video. That's what I can tell you. Don't forget. And like I told you every week, we want to drop knowledge to you people, a lot of knowledge because you guys están durmiendo en la paja. No puede seguir así. No puede seguir así. No puede seguir así. Thank you very much for the 21 likes that you guys gave me, Thank you very much. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. You guys being here is enough. That's enough of the supporters. We're happy with that, Okay, so anyway, guys, we also have a private watch group. It's under my name, Juan Felipe Nieves. And it's on Facebook. Maybe Sweet Kid Kino and Samantha will let you guys in. All right, guys? You know, it's always good to talk to you guys. I have fun. I blow steam. When I come from my real work, what I do for real for a living, I blow all my steam here with you guys. But guys, be wise with your money. Stop giving your money away to these guys. These guys are a bunch of clowns. These guys are a bunch of cockroaches. You know, these guys are a bunch of cockroaches, and they see you guys as spoof balls. But I don't. I don't. I care about your children, about your family. You know, about your home, and I don't want them to keep on giving you this. I don't want that no more. Anyway, guys, like me and Kino say every week, take care and brush your hair. Good night, guys. Peace.